Hi, I'm Erik Clausen, Managing Partner at CG Life here at Biotech Showcase in San Francisco, where every year we kick off the year by bringing together the worlds of biotech and investment and really setting the tone for life sciences for the year. I'm joined today by Stacy Feld. She's head of Johnson & Johnson Innovations, responsible for the Western North America region, Australia, and New Zealand. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
Perhaps a good place to start, just tell us a bit about Johnson & Johnson Innovation and the organization and what you're trying to do.
So at Johnson & Johnson and Johnson & Johnson Innovation, we really start with the fundamental view that the best, most impactful innovations are just as likely to be outside of J&J as they are to be inside of J&J. And it really takes people, resources, and relationships, just like all of the relationships that are being formed here this week, to bring in those ideas and strike the right partnerships and collaborations. And so we have a team of scientific experts, business experts, negotiators, deal makers, to really mine and scour the global landscape of innovations that are addressing the most pressing health conditions and to strike the right relationships. And we have a number of tools in the toolbox. So Johnson & Johnson Innovation is our global external platform under which we make strategic investments through JJDC, early stage partnerships through the Innovation Center, and that's the team that I lead here in South San Francisco, and our global network of business incubators through JLabs.
That's great. Are there certain goals or certain things that you're trying to accomplish this week to try to tap into some of that external innovation?
So there's so much energy and purpose from our industry, and you feel it here at the Biotech Showcase and throughout all of the meetings at JP Morgan. And it's really fueled by entrepreneurs that have passion and conviction for making impact on the most pressing health conditions for consumers and patients. And so Johnson & Johnson Innovation's goal is to really help entrepreneurs realize their vision by pulling through the most impactful innovations and, again, striking the right relationships so that we're bringing together the passion and conviction of entrepreneurs, of startups, and then leveraging our scale to help entrepreneurs achieve and realize their goals and objectives through partnerships that leverage our scale, our brand, our distribution, and really looking across the entire healthcare continuum.
I've always been very impressed by Johnson & Johnson's approach to building those relationships externally through a variety of different ways.
And I think the flexibility and the variety of tools that we have give us that ability to strike the right partnership, the right collaboration, and start with the question of what is an entrepreneur looking to achieve by coming to J&J and building a relationship. And we realize that these relationships are not struck overnight, they develop over time.
Now, in your career, you've had obviously a number of commercial roles at Johnson & Johnson. You have also had roles in working in patent law and also working in venture investment. Are there elements from all those roles that you apply in your role at Johnson & Johnson Innovation?
So all of those roles have really been focused on externally facing relationships, whether it's partnerships, strategic investments, and geared toward helping entrepreneurs, again, realize their dreams and their objectives, whether it's striking value-creating partnerships, both on the buy side or the sell side, or helping them to build new ventures, sitting on boards of companies. And so as I've come to J&J, it's really been with the same view that I want to help entrepreneurs realize their vision and to deliver on what J&J can bring to the table to bring important innovations to market. Now, J&J is set apart for me, and one of the reasons why I joined was certainly the commitment and the conviction for healthcare innovation. But there's no company like J&J that plays across the healthcare continuum from pharmaceuticals, medical device, and consumer. And so throughout my career, I've been in biotech, I've been in diagnostics, and I've been in venture capital in the consumer health industry. And we're seeing so much convergence today across those markets. And so there's no no place like J&J that can really realize those healthcare innovations across the globe and to touch so many lives of patients and consumers.
Now, you were in a discussion this morning that probably touched on some of these topics. You were on a panel focused on accelerating investment in women's health specifically. Were there some key takeaways from that discussion that you'll take away from Biotech Showcase this year?
Yeah, so I think there's two things that struck me about the category women's health, and we did have a debate and a discussion about what really is women's health and how we unpack that, whether it's femtech or digital health innovations, certainly novel therapeutics. But it did strike me that there is a number of there's a diverse range of solutions that are coming to market, whether they are pharmaceuticals, digital health platforms to really empower women to take care of themselves outside of the traditional healthcare system. And the second thing that struck me is that these innovations must take into account improving certainly outcomes and reducing costs, but also improving the consumer experience and giving better convenience, access, and affordability to the care that's needed.
So as I think every year at Biotech Showcase and at JP Morgan here in San Francisco, certain themes start to emerge as the week goes on. And I was just curious if any themes have emerged in your conversations, perhaps in the panel, in addition to the points that you raised. Are there any themes that have emerged for you this week?
Yeah, so two. One relates to digital health, and it's similar to how I was describing women's health. There's really a need to unpack what we mean by digital health, and I see a great difference between, and a huge difference between digital health apps on the wellness side and digital therapeutics, for example, which are really tackling behavioral science, employed with measurable outcomes and evidence-based approaches to reduce disease risk or to improve people's conditions. The second theme is that data science, there's so much talk about AI and machine learning, and it's really about, in order to deliver impact on our industry, it's really matching the capabilities that we have with asking and answering the right questions that have scientific and clinical impact and that will address important needs for consumers and for patients.
Well, it's fascinating. As that convergence happens, we need new business models, new ways of looking at things. It's nice to see that J&J is doing that.
That's absolutely right.
One final question, how has the week gone for you? Has it been a good Biotech Showcase for you?
It's been terrific. I think it's wonderful to see the Biotech Showcase grow, both in terms of numbers of companies presenting, the geographic diversity, the layering on of the digital showcase, and addressing important topics like women's health. And it's been terrific. Always an exciting and energetic week.
That's great. Stacy, thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate it. Hi, thanks for watching the interview. If you really enjoyed the interview, you can click the subscribe button to subscribe to the Biotech Showcase channel on YouTube to get notified of future interviews and content that you might enjoy as well. Thanks for watching.